On this week's news recap, we talk about the bugs littering Fallout 76's beta, Jade Raymond stepping away from EA, massive cocks in Soul Calibur 6, and some leathery special editions for Devil May Cry 5. Hello and welcome to Strange Play. My name's Rik.
My name's Simon.
And I remembered to do the introductions this week. And, of course, this is the Strange Play news recap for Sunday the 28th of October. So for those of you who are new here, what we do on this show is each and every Sunday we go over 3 or 4 of the biggest gaming news stories of the past 7 days, give you the facts and then share our opinions. And this first one is Fallout related, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. The story's been taken from Eurogamer. Bethesda's taken to Twitter to release a very forthright statement regarding Fallout 76's cleverly named Break It Early test application, or beta to you and me. The majority of the letter is fluff, speaking about creating games and if they as a studio are truly providing what fans want. However, a couple of notable paragraphs are focused on the fact that when fans play the beta this week, they should expect to find a lot of bugs. The letter reads, "Usually after years of development, we finally finish, release the game and take a break. With 76, we feel we have not finished, but reached a starting line where all new work begins. We all know with the scale of our games and the systems we let you use that unforeseen bugs and issues always come up. Given what we're doing with 76, we know we're opening everyone up to all new spectacular issues none of us have encountered. Some we're aware of, such as areas where performance needs to improve with a lot of players. Others, we surely don't. We need your help in finding them and advice on what's important to fix. We'll address all of it now and after launch." Should this be worrying for people buying into the game? Discuss.
Absolutely not. It's the beta. The whole point of it is for people to go and find bugs. And this line, because a lot of people have jumped on this line, where they say, with 76, we feel we have not finished but reached the starting line where all new work begins. Yeah, that's because it's the foundation of what's essentially an MMO. You've reached the point where the thing works, and it's going to be full of bugs, but it's like, okay, here's the base. How can we improve this game that's going to be released and built upon for several years? As far as bugs go, and you're going to see bugs, some that we've encountered, some that you've not. Yes, because it's the beta. The whole point of the beta is for people to find bugs. And I appreciate the fact that they've been so forthright with it. The fact that they've come out and gone, yeah, it is a broken mess, but we have never done anything like this before. And it's your job, because it is the players' jobs in the beta, to find the issues, report them, and then Bethesda can fix it. The problems are going to stick around if people are just using the beta as a demo. You know, if they're seeing bugs and going, oh, that's ridiculous, and then ignoring it. If, however, they're going to, I'm assuming there's a website that you can fill out bug reports and stuff, like there is with a lot of betas. If people actually use the tools that are given to them to report the bugs that they find, then there's going to be considerably less of these in the full game. And I don't think this is anything to worry about. And I do think a lot of people who have been reporting on this are blowing it massively out of proportion.
I've watched this beta, and from what I've seen, it needs a performance boost because it drops frames all over the place. It's really, really laggy. And I don't know whether that's the hardware of the PCs using it. It could entirely be that. You know that people have variable tech in their computers, but it looks super, super choppy, and there are like certain things that sort of raise my eyebrows.
Yeah, but even in this letter, they've gone some we're aware of, such as areas where performance needs to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
So they are aware of things like that, and they still have a few weeks until launch.
I think the other thing is, from what I've seen, and it's not performance related, it's more game related. And this isn't me sticking the boot into Fallout 76 because, I mean, it could just be that they haven't put everything in yet. It's just there for people to wander about in. But it's very sparse. It's very barren.
Yeah.
You go to areas and there's not much to do. It is basically, here's a landmark. You can walk around it. There's maybe some loot there. There's no story or anything to it. Which is, like you said, people are going to judge the game on that entirely. Not only the bugs themselves, but also the content of the beta too. And while I've not spoken to anyone directly, I get a feeling that the people that have been playing these games, or these betas, it might be a case of putting a lot of people off unnecessarily. or necessarily, because if the game is that broken and it needs a mass test, even just a stress test for servers, if there's a lot of people on a server, then I think they could run into issues, not only with people slandering the game, but also with the performance issues and stuff like that, because people are very reactionary. They don't realise that we live in a world, Rick, where we get games and they say they're betas, but really they're just there to sell the game. They're basically demos of this generation, and I feel that people are going to mistake that for what it is. And it is a beta. They've clearly marked it as a beta. It's going to have a lot of fucking errors and fuck-ups in it. And people are going to not realise that because we've seen that word beta bandied about so much that it's lost all meaning to the people that are using them.
Basically reiterating what I said about if people are just using it as a demo, then these problems aren't going to get fixed. And then they're going to be the ones complaining that the game's full of bugs. We've both worked in QA. We know how difficult it is to test and find bugs in a small contained experience, let alone something that's this big.
The thing is that we have experience in writing up bug reports and your average Joe doesn't. They don't know that it's certain button combinations or opening certain menus during certain areas or doing stuff like they can't see when the game is loading or just streaming stuff from the hard drive. They have no idea what could trigger the bugs. It's just like, oh well, it blue screened on me. They don't understand what's going on there. You have to have an underlying understanding of how the game is working itself to troubleshoot where that bug is actually coming from. That's my main worry about this, because you're going to get people that are just like, oh yeah, I did this, I opened my backpack here, and I started getting frame drops, and it's like, okay. And Bethesda can sort of look at that and put two and two together and narrow it down on their end. But for a lot of bugs, it's going to be like they might hit a wall or something with a gun equipped and it didn't like it and it's going to crash.
Yeah.
And that's a lot harder for your average Joe to go, hey, I think it's this that's causing the issue.
I'll give you that. We know how to write the bugs out. And I guess a lot of people aren't going to...
Yeah, they just get frustrated.
And I'm looking online to see if there's feedback guidelines or something like that, or if there's a way that it doesn't... I can't see anything.
I think the best tool they have is letting people upload to YouTube and go, yeah, this broke in this manner, and sort of showing them what they did, because it's harder for someone that doesn't know what they're talking about to say, hey, I did this with my controller, or I did this with my keyboard, and this part of the game just broke, or it started having performance issues, or something vanished, or I started duplicating items, or all the things that can happen, all the variables and all the numbers that are spinning in the background. You have to make sense of it on some level, and that's impossible to do if you don't know what the numbers are doing in the first place.
Yeah.
It's brave of Bethesda to do this, but I think it might blow up in the face.
I don't think it will, because of games like... Was it Battlefield 4 that had some of the most ludicrous bugs in the beta?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't hurt sales. There's been a lot of games where they've released a beta that's been a mess, and then sales have been fine. I honestly don't think that this is going to affect sales at all. The people who are playing it are people who have pre-ordered it, right, at the moment, especially on Xbox. So they're essentially early access, they're playing it. They're fine, they're buying it regardless. The people who aren't, at the moment, probably aren't going to care. You know, back to the point of the question at the end of the story, I don't think that the amount of bugs in the beta is going to have any effect on sales at all. Now, maybe when it comes out, if it's still an absolute shit show, after the first weekend or after the first week, we might see a drop-off in sales. But I don't think that it's going to be an issue until actual release.
I think it could affect it.
Well, it's the same thing that happened with Elder Scrolls Online, isn't it? People jumped on it, there was a drop-off because there was not a lot in it, and then months later it got improved and people jumped back on it again.
I think with Elder Scrolls Online, it was so different to what people were expecting from an Elder Scrolls game. A lot of people's jumping on point for Elder Scrolls games is Skyrim, and the Elder Scrolls Online isn't Skyrim.
No.
It's not any other Elder Scrolls game. It's an MMO that's wearing the Elder Scrolls skin.
A lot of people are saying the same thing about Fallout 76. So I reckon we're going to see the same thing.
What's next?
This story is taken from VentureBeat. Jade Raymond is leaving Electronic Arts and has been replaced by Samantha Ryan, who is now responsible for not only Raymond's Montreal-based Motive, but also Maxis, BioWare, and various mobile studios under EA's control. The only developers not under Ryan's management are Respawn and EA Sports. Raymond, who is probably best known for work producing the early Assassin's Creed games, as well as Watch Dogs and Splinter Cell. She was also involved in Star Wars Battlefront 2 and was working on a new unnamed Star Wars title. EA's head of communications, John Reisberg, had this to say on the internal changes at EA which led to Raymond walking away. EA Studios is focused on bringing more creative new games and content to players. Laura Miele and her team have taken several steps internally to better support our games makers in this pursuit, such as expanding Samantha Ryan's portfolio to lead additional studios, including Motive. Samantha is known for driving creative design and supporting game teams so they can bring their visions to life. She's a deeply experienced game maker with a gamography that spans from The Sims to Batman Arkham City to No One Lives Forever to the highly anticipated Anthem. With this change, Jade Raymond has decided to leave Electronic Arts. In her time with us, Jade helped to build great games, and our projects underway at Motive and other studios continue unchanged. We're appreciative of all of her efforts, and we wish Jade all the best as she moves on to her next adventure. We are driving greater creativity into everything we do across EA Studios, and we'll look forward to sharing more in the months to come. Yeah, this is a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think she got her nose put out a joint here, and we're just like, okay, I'll fucking find work somewhere else.
That's how it reads to me.
That's how it comes across to me as well. It looks like Ryan has basically been promoted over her.
Yeah.
And she's gone, fuck this, I'm out, laters. It makes me wonder what went on with the Star Wars game.
Yeah.
That she was doing with Amy Hennig. Because by all accounts it were meant to be alright from what Inside was saying.
Fucking Disney, please take the Star Wars license away from EA. They cannot be trusted.
No, they can't.
And this is other proof as to why they cannot be trusted. It's a shame. That I personally think this is EA's loss.
I do think it's EA's loss. I think they've basically taken... Mila has looked at Ryan's portfolio and the way she's running things and gone, she's making us fucking loads of money. She don't really care about what's going on. She's a manager first and a games person second, if that makes sense. She's there as a business person, whereas Jade Raymond were there as a executive, like a director. Well, sort of producer. That's the best way to explain it. I think that was actually a job title, executive producer on the games that she worked on. And you need that sort of talent in games. We've talked about this before with women in games and how their input makes for better games. It's about making experiences that are more inclusive, they're more tied in, they're more grounded for people that are coming from both sides, from both women and men, and going, hey, I like that. That is fucking badass. I want to play that. I want to spend time with that. It's those instances where you need people like Jade Raymond and Amy Hennig to craft those experiences that are pushing away from the old narratives of games, which is basically, oh, there's a princess, go save her. It's very one-sided. It's a male power fantasy. I hope her next venture is with a company that's not as predatory with their games.
Yeah.
So she can actually make something that she wants to make. Or she can oversee something and direct it and build a team that's focused on making an experience first and not a sandbox for you to just keep pumping money in for microtransactions, because it's basically stepping on the toes of what she does best.
Single-player, story-driven experiences. Alright, what's next?
So this story's been taken from Eurogamer. Soul Calibur came out this last week, and it comes with quite a robust character creation tool that you can use to take your custom fighters online. People did what people do best when handed creativity. They put massive dicks on everything. So, Twitter user Nordane was the first to come up to the realisation that the customization allowed you to create well-endowed fighters. But it was an unrelated tweet by @alt0_ that went viral, which made people spit the tea out. Eurogamer's deputy editor, Wesley Yimpul, took to the character creator to make one of these throbbing beasts himself in a highly scientific Eurogamer article. He did so by picking S&M fanatic Voldo as a base and then adding a rotated heart for the testicles, a cylinder for the shaft, and then an apple for the bulbous head. It really is that easy. It's not just fighters with massive cocks you can create either. Some very talented people have created well-loved characters from various parts of media, ranging right from the Hunter in Bloodborne up to Thanos, replete with his trademark finger-clicking Infinity Gauntlet. Have you seen them?
I've seen Thanos, and I've seen the lizard with the massive dick that just fucking...
I think the thing that made me laugh most about the lizard with the massive dick is it was called Scale Dong.
I didn't even notice that.
But I think, like, this is a really fucking clever thing on Namco's behalf, because you know when you boot these games up that when you go into the online portion of the game, it says it's not covered by the PEGI rating system. So basically they've put this customization into the game knowing full well that people are going to put massive dicks on all of the characters and make a lot of stuff that they couldn't make. So they've made a tool set that's so pliable that people can make anything, and it is wonderful when you look at it. I've seen stuff like Magikarp.
What?
Someone fucking figured out how to make Magikarp using Voldo. Do you know when Voldo does like the little crab thing that he does?
Yeah.
And he sort of splashes and it looks like Magikarp splashing. And it's like, how did someone fucking work that out? Like, people are proper geniuses. You give them a tool set. Like, you look at the simple tool sets on something like Forza Motorsport, where you can paint your cars, and it's just shapes. It's nothing special. And then you look at what people make and it's like, what the fuck? Like, people are so talented. And it's that same creativity that's infested Soul Calibur.
Thinking back on it, there was a lot of dicks in Forza 2
Yeah,
as well.
and swastikas.
Ugh.
Yeah, if you give customization to a player, it's going to get abused to fuck. But the people that don't abuse it, the people that actually run with it, normally do spectacular things. And honestly, the things that I've seen while researching this were just, they pop my eyes out. Some of them are so good. Like,
I bet they did.
well, not just the dick things, but I mean, that's sort of funny and it's childish. But the things that they did that are serious, the ones that are taken from other games or taken from anime series or TV series or films or whatever, some of them are spot on.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to this. I just think it's a funny story.
It is a funny story and also a bit piss-takey.
A little bit.
Talking about piss-takey, what we got next?
I see what you did there. So this story has been taken from Kotaku. Capcom have announced that Devil May Cry 5 will come with a super special edition that will come with a leather coat based on the one Dante wears throughout his appearance in the game. And it's yours for just 972,000 yen, or £6,650 to you and me. If Nero or V's fashion is more up your street, then you can get versions of the game that comes with their trademark leatherwear too. Nero's jacket costs 810,000 yen, or £5,540, and V's costs 648,000 yen, or £4,430. For those that want the most accurate jacket, Nero's package also has the option to wreck the sleeve on the right arm to accommodate his new mechanical arm. This is optional, of course, so you're free to stick with the undamaged version if you wish. These bundles are Japan exclusive as it stands, no word yet if they will offer these bundles in the West, and I've got to be honest, I fucking hope they don't. What a load of shit.
It is kind of crazy, innit?
6,000 fucking pounds for a jacket. Fuck off. Like, do you remember E3 this year? E3 2018, Simon. We'd been awake for fucking days.
Yep, we
and
are.
we're watching Microsoft, and Devil May Cry 5 gets announced, and I lose my shit. This is like finding out when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced, right? I was so happy. In the months that have followed, every piece of news that has come out about Devil May Cry 5 has brought me closer and closer and closer to throwing my hands up in the air and going, fuck this game. The other week we had the microtransactions, and I was like, you know what, don't need to use them. I'm gonna, like, not defend the game. I'm gonna wait until they come out and the game's been completely unbalanced in order to make people use the microtransactions. But until then, I'm going to stand back, I'm going to do this. And now they're coming out and going, oh, not only do we want you to buy the game and then give us more money while you're playing the game, but to get the fucking ultra special, you're the biggest fan in the world edition, we're going to overcharge you for a leather jacket. I thought Ubisoft were the kings of shitty special editions, but this is just getting fucking stupid.
How much do you think those jackets are actually worth in materials and work put in to craft them?
Few hundred. Tops £1,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe a grand tops.
Tops £1,000.
But £6,000 is a lot of fucking moolah.
£6,000 is taking the piss.
What do you actually think of the styling of these? Do you think they look cool? Would you have got one if the price wasn't so exorbitant?
When I was 17, probably.
Because I saw these and I was like, oh wow, that doesn't float my boat at all. Same with the other two jackets. I looked at them and I thought, well, that's edgy as fuck. But then I pondered it over and I was like, well, for those people that go to cosplay shows and stuff, this could be a boon. But at fucking £6,000, well, £7,000 nearly for Dante's, it's a lot of fucking money. Like, are they off their rockers? Do you remember when we all lost our minds when fucking Modern Warfare 2 came and it had the night vision fucking headpiece?
Yeah.
And people were like, 200 quid? You must be fucking having a laugh. And this is where we've got to now. Fucking nearly £7,000 for a fucking coat and a game full of microtransactions.
And the thing that's crazy as well, this is the studio that bought us Monster Hunter World, where they were like, no loot boxes, no microtransactions, everything that you gotta earn. We've got a special edition, but it ain't that big. Here's a game that's just fucking there, and we're adding to it all the time, and there's new monsters coming to it, and new challenges, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. Capcom they're so good. And now they're like, fucking give us all the money. It feels like there's a van with Capcom written on it, and the rain is hitting it, and where it says Capcom, the sticker is coming off, and it's saying Ubisoft underneath it.
I tell you the scariest thing about this whole money grabbing thing with the microtransactions and the coat shenanigans. Capcom are currently making the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
If that game has microtransactions in it, oh boy.
You'll be able to go to vending machines and buy ammo.
Yeah, or first aid sprays, or an ink ribbon. Oh, fucking hell. I could... People are boiling over now. I was just talking about that.
The thing that's fucked up as well is, like, despite what Jim Sterling says, games are more expensive to make now than they've ever been. But so are films and TV shows. Video games is the only business that nickel and dime you like this.
It's not that either. I mean, you are right. Video games do cost more to make now than they did back in the 90s. But the market is also fucking massive. Like, you look at games... Mortal Kombat 2 were the first game to sell 1 million copies. Now, a lot of games sell 1 million copies.
The first Tomb Raider sold 6 million and Square Enix deemed it a failure.
Yeah, that's just lunacy. Like, they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think they projected... It'll still made a profit, but their projections for what is deemed a success and not is just... It's totally skewed on what is a success and what isn't now. If it doesn't make... Like Jim Sterling says, if it doesn't make all the money, people are interested.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very bad mantra to take. If you can make a profit and make something good, then you do that. You don't need to degrade yourself or your game or hamper it by making stuff really, really hard to earn or XP trickle because you want people, Joe, to buy XP boosts and stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of games where the XP is throttled in some way, or the drops that you get are throttled in some way.
Well, Destiny 2 was getting done for that a few months ago. We
were
reporting on that fucking loads at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, the engrams, it were being throttled. Even if you had the XP boost, it just throttled it even harder. And it's wrong. You shouldn't be throttling anything. But yeah, it's practices like this with the coats and stuff where they start veering off and it's like, come on guys, stick with the games, make the best games you can, and that'll do us. We don't need all this shite. No matter how special you think it is, it's not. We're not interested.
I'm sure the game will be great. I hope that the microtransactions aren't going to have anything to do with the difficulty of the game or the grinding in the game. And if these coats are just like one-offs, like literally they've made 3, you know what, fuck it. If you're a hardcore, then someone's going to buy it. It'd be like the prick who bought the fucking fake Wu-Tang album. But if there's a few of these and it's just money grabbing, which is what it looks like, then yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this anymore. So that is it for this week's news recap. If you'd like to talk to us about any of the stories we mentioned, then please feel free to leave a comment below or talk to us over at Twitter at StrangePlayUK or join our Facebook group at facebook.com/StrangePlayUK. You can also join our Discord server, invite link in the description. Also, if you like this video or like what we do on the channel, feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. It helps us grow and we really do appreciate it.
We managed to get through this podcast without mentioning Red Dead. Oh, fuck!